All right. Hey, AJ, good to see you tonight.
Good evening, Paul.
Hey.
I'm happy to be here.
I'm glad. I'm happy to be here too. I had some interesting meetings today with a distributor on the record label front. So
Oh,
that's
good
why
to
I'm
hear
sort
it.
of in 60s, 60s dress casual.
Nice. I
Yeah,
like that shirt, man.
that's good,
Wow,
man.
you're looking sharp.
Retro. It reminds me of a shirt my dad used to wear. So
Cool.
just need a pipe and just down.
I'm going completely the opposite way. I got the grunge vibe
Yeah,
going.
yeah, you've got something else going on. I love what you got out. So we're shaking it up tonight.
All right, cool.
All right, let's shake it up right now. I want to dive into a record I've been dying to share with you. I hope this is a new one for you. Have you heard the Benmont Tench? You should be so lucky.
I do. I own it on CD,
Yeah,
but you're
this
going to make me put it in because I haven't listened to it in a long time.
well, you know, I suggest going one step further and get the vinyl.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, double album, great pressing, great sound, great gatefold, double album gatefold package. It's worth the images, man. Just to have these, the big look at
Oh,
that.
cool. That's cool. Yeah, I
See
kind of
the
remember those shots, seeing those shots, but I would have been looking at them miniature size.
I've always loved the shots from inside the studio, so you can kind of get a glimpse into what the vibe was like when they were having the recording session. You know, and it's you get images like that. I have a love affair with the recording studio and the studio process,
As
and
you
when they capture images like this, that's really great. So yeah, it's good on CD, but I would say better on vinyl.
All right.
Anyway, why don't you
Cool.
come over and have a listen sometimes?
Yes, please. I have a feeling we're going to be getting together soon.
I think so.
Reason too. So
There are a lot of exciting happenings going on.
yeah,
All right, I'm dying to see what you've got to share tonight, my friend.
this matches my shirt. This is Black Label Society, Catacombs of the Black Vatican. Are you familiar with Black Label Society?
Heard of it, but haven't heard it. So I
You
would say,
know, you know the lead actor in the play, Zach Wilde.
of
Ozzy
course, I will.
Osbourne. Yeah, there you go. Um, we're stuck here in the plastic. Just gonna hold on a second.
Yeah, I encountered some mechanical problems tonight too. It just is that.
This was a bargain, man. I got this. It was on Discogs, and I saw it, and I couldn't believe how inexpensive it was. I think I got it for $20, brand new, and it's worth $100. So I don't know what happened, how it fell through the cracks, but cool bone vinyl here,
Hmm. Oh yeah,
and it sounds
gorgeous.
phenomenal. Also 2 LP, and this record, this can you get a good
Oh yeah,
that you'll
catacombs.
if you maybe after a bottle of red wine or anything else, there's a lot to look at on this album.
Oh yeah.
The art is really awesome.
Woo.
Uh,
Woo.
lyrics included. The lyrics for this
That's
album
gorgeous.
are phenomenal, and this guy is to me is one of the most underrated rock and roll musicians on alive right now. His voice is incredible. The range of music is as hard as can be to blues, and some of the ballads are beautiful, and
Yeah.
he can cover all bases vocally, and a great lyricist. So anyway, I just wanted to share something
Oh yeah, man.
that is underrated, and it's fantastic from an audiophile standpoint too,
Right.
especially if you like your rock and roll loud and hard.
Yeah. Well, when we have those moments where you share something that I haven't explored yet, I make a note of it, and run out and
It's a good shirt.
give it a listen. That is a great
I
shirt.
got I got this shirt. I saw him live at what's this, the small club on Wilshire Boulevard in downtown. Is it the El Rey Theater?
El Rey, El
That's
Rey.
where I saw him, and it was like it was right before the our old friend the pandemic. So it was in 2019, and it was a phenomenal show.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
anyway, that was the last time I saw him live. I've seen him live a couple times. I actually saw him play the Star Spangled Banner at a Kings game, and it was great. It was not in any way reminiscent of Jimi Hendrix version. It was definitely a Zach Wild version, and it was
Yeah.
just, yeah, it was great.
Okay. I have kind of a strong feeling that you know, too many guitarists are doing the Star Spangled Banner. I think uh, I think we should be hold the original version sort of in reverence. You know, I
Well,
think
I think they all do. I think they honor it by just doing
yeah,
it, you know. And I'm sure he must have honored part of the actual Hendrix version, because I
yes,
obviously was a huge Hendrix fan.
yeah,
But it
yeah,
didn't it sounded like Zach Wild. So
yeah,
I would say the opposite. I always appreciate. I've heard Carlos Santana do it, and it's
yeah,
been awesome. So
yes.
anyway,
Well,
I
you,
would say that.
I can see that perspective. You know, maybe
There,
if you
there's
look
well here, and the other thing. Let's be honest, man. I've seen way more people sing it and butcher it than I have pro guitar players play it and make it exciting. So there you go.
okay, that is true. We're going to change the name of this program to Point Counterpoint if we do anymore. All right. Hey, got some interesting little tidbits to share from you while I got you. Um, I found an interesting article from studyfinds.org on the best record players of 2022, 23, which I thought was
I'm about to buy one. I think this weekend actually for my library. So this this review came in a perfect time for me.
yeah. Uh, yeah, so I think we, as vinyl advocates, we are also sort of de facto hardware advocates. And this article, written by Melissa Krause, uh, helps sort of survey what they believe to be the top five turntables. And I think they're right. There are others, but I think if you're going to be a serious vinyl enthusiast, if you're going to invest in high quality audiophile 180 gram vinyl, it's probably it's probably worth a spin. At least read the article. Happy to make any requests. So that's cool. There's another thing I wanted to share with you. Um, I think as we continue to sort of carry on our vinyl advocacy, I've noticed that a lot of authors and enthusiasts and others are making lists, and I'm able to find lots and lots of top 10 lists of favorite vinyl in this category, or for whatever collection, uh, collecting reason, collecting reason. This one from Pop Matters is the 20 best jazz albums for beginners. And uh, I'm a big fan of jazz on vinyl, as you know. Uh,
As I
I
am.
I feel like vinyl and jazz are inextricably joined. They cannot be taken apart. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that the vinyl lifestyle grew up when jazz was king. And so you have that kind of marriage between the two formats. Uh, I would say, contemporary vinyl was made for jazz and jazz was made for vinyl. And so those two art forms kind of came together. So for that reason, having a jazz collection uh, is a good idea. And this gives you kind of a jumpstart.
I know. Uh, on actually, I don't know how this is all divvied up on the page two. I know many of the titles, but on page one, I barely know any of them.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. Well, we got to thank Will
good
Laney
reading. Yeah, thanks.
for that little tidbit. Um, all right. I wanted to, of course, remind everybody about this fabulous Soundscapes Media Group. This is the shameless promotion segment of the show. Bone Daddy,
We can't talk about that album enough for me. So I'm a big
yeah, yeah.
fan of archaeology.
I was having lunch with somebody today, and they are a really big fan of the record, but they asked me why 45 RPM. And this is probably a good subject for a tech talk, a tech corner in the future. But uh, very similar to in the recording studio, the faster the tape would run, so you'd have less noise. So 7.5 inch was noisier than 15. 15 inches per second is noisier than 30 inches. So with the vinyl, it's the same thing. The more surface area you have to record the the program, then the greater the signal to noise is because it's distributed over a longer distance. And so when Soundscapes did this record, we only had 4 songs. We wanted the loudest record possible, and we wanted the highest fidelity. And so I elected for 45 RPM for those reasons, and so maximum dynamic range and maximum fidelity. Um, Now, a lot of people associate 45s with the big circle, and they associate 45s also for being cheap and not sounding very good. And so what that's kind of a paradox to what I just said about the 45 RPM being better. So it's important to know that the insides closer to the center of the record, because they're shorter, the quality is going down. Since the 45 is small, it's already in the the lower revolution, so the less material. And also, they're made out of the cheapest vinyl possible. It's brittle and it's not very resilient. Uh, might be one step below regrind, which is really not considered to be an audiophile whatsoever. So you've got a product that actually was developed for being cheap, not being for high fidelity. Whereas what we've done here is we've done it for high fidelity and robust format with 180 gram vinyl. So in fact, if you look out there in the marketplace, you will see many audiophile reissues of vinyl records, and they're now double albums. I think a few episodes ago, I shared the. Did we share Yes Fragile, or did we? We must have talked about that record. Maybe we
I
didn't.
don't
Anyway,
remember that because I'd say I love that record. I feel like I would have remembered that. Maybe
yeah, yeah.
you haven't.
I've got a number of 45 RPM, reissues. I know you have some of those packages as well, and it's twice as many discs.
The album, the brand new album that I'm about to share in the next episode is double LP 45
There
RPM.
you go. Okay, and so these guys are doing it for fidelity and for longevity, and I think it's important to differentiate the difference. There's a high fidelity 45, and then there's a low fidelity one. The big circle, small disc, brittle one is low fidelity. The one that looks like your standard 12-inch record with the small hole is going to be high fidelity. And you'll feel it, and it'll usually be promoted on one of the hype stickers on the sleeve.
Do you want my counterpoint?
Yes, I know. I can anticipate it, but I'd love to hear it.
um, when you're on a romantic evening with your partner You want to go for the 33 RPM albums, and you'll have 15 minutes aside as opposed to less. And it'll be you get a little more action on the couch, less
Yeah,
action getting up and down to turn the record
I,
up.
I think actually, Adam, you bring up a really important point, and that you
Well,
know, I,
the fact is if you're making out with your partner, audiophile quality is just not that important, Paul.
well, and I might say that if you go that far, you might as well throw in a CD and put it on infinite.
Anyway,
The next time we'll do an episode on priorities. There's an audiophile
I
priority.
guess it's good to have both versions for that purpose. Kick it up when you want to listen to it with headphones, and when you need a little more time.
I think that's it. I was going to go down the tech route, which is just the market acceptance and the fact that we visually associate 45 with small. So you have to be attuned to your product. And more than a couple of times, I've put a 45 RPM 12-inch on the turntable and sat down to listen to
Yeah,
it. And it's an octave low. And it's just like, I don't
yeah. I
remember
mean,
it
I
being.
think that would be my pet peeve when you've got a 45 RPM 12-inch LP. I wish they were a little bit more obvious on the label, not
Yes.
just on a hype sticker, by
Yes.
telling you, "Hey, knucklehead, make sure your belt is attached to the right."
There you go. Well, it came out of a different era. I know it surprises a lot of people, uh, but the musically inclined will go, "Ooh, something's not right," and just fix it. But it is so buy some high fidelity 45 fidelity and do the challenge. Listen to one of these things and then listen to a
I
33
mean,
and see.
to that point, I have the Mobile Fidelity Dire Straits Brothers in Arms
Oh,
45 RPM, and it's unreal. The sound
yes.
is unreal. So I mean, I'm somewhat joking about 33. I mean, I'm not joking about it. It's
Oh, I
actually
think
it's
it's
serious.
absolutely makes sense.
Yeah,
And if you transport yourself back to the vinyl era, it makes total sense.
yeah,
And on that note, uh, it is absolutely true that when the 33 RPM micro groove was invented, or the 33 RPM disc speed plus the micro groove, the promotion at the time was all about having more music with less space. And so I think that's actually a really important part. The thing is, you could carry around on one disc, 40 minutes of music at that time. That was incredible. That was an incredible amount of music. So, um, and they call them long playing records for a reason.
right.
So anyway, I think certainly the industry has continued to try to trend to longer and longer. So they were on the right path,
Indeed.
and maybe even 20-minute limit to a side. 20 to 25 minutes. Maybe that's enough time for some concentrated listening, and you turn it over, fix yourself another cup of tea.
Yeah, and in the archaeology instance, it's perfect because it's
Yeah,
a shorter played record.
yeah,
But it also doesn't feel that the jams are long. I mean, that's part. You really hit a home run. I say it every time we talk about it. You hit a
yeah,
home run with that record because it showcases the band in the best way that they've ever been recorded.
yeah.
It's just
No, it's true.
the way it is.
When I had the privilege of listening to the original tapes, that's I thought to myself, that's what I want to preserve. That it had all the energy from their live show. It's a great mix. It's a great recording, and it doesn't suffer from overproduction or trying to sound like something else, like a sculpted pop record. This
It's a
this
phenomenal
vibe
record.
dynamic.
Who's the producer again? I can never. I'm
So Dennis Moody was the engineer and the producer,
yeah, man,
co-producer with the Bone Daddies.
unbelievable job he did.
Yeah, he's out there and he's still doing work. He does a lot of live sound work, but he's got a recording studio in his place out in the desert, and he's doing it his way. He's a real artist, and he deserves a mention. We might do a hashtag DennisMoody.com, all
Cool.
that stuff. Okay. Anyway, it's a good point. 45 is more dynamic in the EP format. You can get high volume and high dynamicism, and
Try and get him on the show and talk about the record, talk about recording it.
yes, that would be a great idea. Have him as a guest. We could do that, and we might even be able to get Mike Tempo to join us on a future.
That would be great.
episode. I understand that they've been recording again, and they might have some new releases that,
Cool.
If we're lucky, we'll debut them here.
Cool.
All right, man. Well, that's a great evening. I'm glad we got to meet up again.
Always fun, buddy. Thank you.
Okay, well, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram and YouTube, and we'll see you again soon.
Looking forward to it. Take care.
Ciao, man.